Guys, welcome to my live stream. Happy New Year. Welcome to the Cactus live stream from January the 1st. Great to be back. Great to say it's a new year. Finally, it was overdue, to be honest. The year was dragging on. So yeah, I'm glad that it's over. Happy New Year again from the channel. I posted a little video and I hope you're doing all right. Hope you have a great time. Taking it slow today. Where I live, today is a holiday. No business open and that kind of stuff. So we're taking it slow. So, but again, wherever you are, no matter which time zone, I hope you had a great new year. So today, a lot of interesting stuff will happen on the channel. So I want to start sowing out, and I got a box. I got the little like pressed soil pellets that we can use to sow out. I'm not sure what the manufacturer is, but this is how they look like. And this is just, 100, I think. And that will allow us to sow out a little. Yeah, so I will put that aside. And I also brought water to soak them up. And I also want to just start germinating seeds. So I will try to pick good seeds here. I thought about soaking them in water to wake them up a little. Welcome to the stream. Happy New Year to everyone who is just finding us. Hope you have a great time. I want to sow out today. And I brought the kiwi seeds that are already, that had a cold treatment. Maybe they will come up, we'll see. But I brought these out of the freezer. And I bought a bunch of different seeds. I ordered more. I actually ordered chili seeds, but they aren't here yet. So yeah, a lot of stuff that I want to do today. I was searching for a certain kind of seed that I wanted to sow out, but I'm not finding it right now. Everything I find is stuff that I didn't need that moment right now. Because I had very old tomato seed and I wanted to sow them out. I'm not sure where I put them. Because it was a great tomato strain that I found good enough that I even collected seeds, and that was years ago. So sorry. So the seeds are probably unviable, but I want to try it out. You never know if you don't try. And with sowing out, I want to do a lot of that in my streams. So yeah, welcome to the stream, guys. Great to have you back. Welcome in the new year. I hope it's going to be better. That's all I expect. I don't expect much. I just need it to be a little better than the old one, the previous year. That should be the least, Just cleaning up here because I can't find the one bag of seeds that I wanted to have. But we're doing a lot of stuff today. Again, in case you missed, I finally have the things for sowing out, the pressed tablets that I want to use for other stuff. But I also brought the cactus seedlings so we can go through them. Happy New Year, everyone. I also brought a bunch of books that I want to go through. honestly, there's so much stuff to do. It's great to have that, you know. I waited until I was able to order a lot of the stuff that we need for the channel, and I'm just glad that it finally worked, that I could finally order that. I ordered new sowing soil, a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of projects. But yeah, I don't find the seeds that I was looking for. Doesn't matter. I wanted to soak them. Felt like maybe that would help a little bit with the tomato seeds. So these are the chili seeds that I had in the cold treatment, and I want to start with those. I already brought a little bit of water here. Actually brought another bigger container full of water, so we can soak these little paddies here, like these little pressed, I don't know how they are called, like if there's a generic name for it, but we're trying it out. I would put a bunch of those into the water so we can finally start sowing out other stuff. I'm not sure how much water they need. This is probably way too much, so I think I will use the other one. I want all the soil to wash away, so this is just okay. So, soaking those, I'm not sure how many, maybe five, 6, just to experiment with it. I hope you had a great year, like a great new year, without accidents, that kind of stuff. Mika spent half the night under the bed, and I was very sorry for her. I would have loved to kind of just tell her that things will be all right. Dogs are always so scared when there's fireworks. And if you think about it, just from a evolutionary point of view, it's probably good that they behave like that. Like when they were being hunted, maybe, you know. So yeah, but felt really sorry for Mika. She really didn't like it, and a bunch of, it wasn't bad most of the time, but we got a few heavy shots here and there of fireworks that were really almost hitting the house. So yeah, but I'm just glad it's over. I'm just glad that I can take Mika outside again without being worried that something might scare her and chase her off, you know. But yeah, I'm glad it's over. Today we will probably get a few more fireworks, but it's not like yesterday. Yesterday it was, we just live at a spot with a bunch of younger people around, like with kids, and they do that a lot just for the kids. I'm personally not someone who does it, like fireworks. I see what it does with the animals, and I just leave them. I don't need it. It's not something, I grew up with it, and there was a lot of fireworks when I was younger, but it's not something that I personally need, so I'm not doing it, especially with Mika. And before that, Snoopy was always so scared on New Year's Eve, like with the fireworks. So yeah, at some point you just move away from it a little bit. Yeah, I also brought watermelon seeds. I'm not sure how that will go. I've never grown a watermelon, but I might actually try it out. So that's why I brought these. I wish I could find the other tomato seeds because they were good. That was a local, you know, every now and then you find a local vegetable, something like that, that is really good, and that was one of those, and it happened years and years ago. I actually believe the seeds must be unviable by now, but at least want to try it out. I want to give it a chance, you know. So yeah, welcome to my stream, guys. Great to have you around. I appreciate it. Happy New Year, wherever you are. Hope that everything went well, that you're having a great time. And I'm here sowing out. Still waiting for these things to get bigger, but I believe we're getting close. And I would probably use these in combination with the little plastic bags that we have here to sow out. Maybe we can put 2 of them into the bag, and then we can induce germination of whatever seed we will put in there. And then I want to go through the seedlings, but I felt like for this time, to break the cycle, I don't want to have it always the same kind of stream. So every now and then it's good to do something different, and that's what we're doing today. I'm not sure how big these get, but I think it's big enough. I'm not sure. I don't want, you can see at some point the medium is washing out of them. So I believe this should be pretty good. I didn't use these in the past, and long term we will probably move away from something like this. But I just wanted to show them this is easy to use on the channel when we're just sowing something out. And in the next couple of weeks we will be sowing out actual chilies. I bought 10 different ones as seeds, and it will be fun to see them grow. We will almost certainly run into problem like with everything. That's just life. And it will be cool for the channel. So yeah, I don't find them, but I want to sow something else. So I'm using some of those tomato seeds here that I brought. These are old, so I'm not sure if they will come up, but we will try out. Okay. And this time I will only plant 2. And from what I read, tomatoes need light, just like cacti, just like cactus seeds. So they are usually like sprinkled on top of the soil a little bit. So, and this is a tomato strain. Let me see. Some kind of lengthy tomato. F1 hybrid. Wow. Sounds fancy. We'll see. In the bag, there are maybe 20 seeds. I don't know. Not a lot. Top 10. It's crazy how expensive this kind of stuff is if you buy it. Okay. I'm really looking forward to the other seeds that I have ordered for the channel. This will be fun. And then we will put them under the plant lamp that I have. Will be great. It's actually for the cactus seedlings, but we can put these below that also. Now it just needs a label. I'm not sure how I can label this perfectly. I will just put a tag in it. So, tomato. Korean. I'm not sure what kind of a strain that is. They don't really look like incredibly great, but I want to try it out. We'll see. This is from 2013, the seed, so they might not come up. We'll try it out. I'm not scared to try that kind of stuff. That's why we are doing it on the stream. Okay, temperature for these was somewhere in the 20, 23, 25 range, something like that. So that's perfect actually for indoors. I like that. So next ones. Outstairs, the dogs are barking like crazy. Still fireworks going on. I'm so glad when it's over. I have nothing against it when people do it, but I personally, I don't like it. Okay. And welcome to the stream, guys. Today we are hitting a lot of outside visitors again, and I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. You found yourself in the cactus stream, and right now we're sowing out something else. Tomatoes, other stuff. And later we will move to the cactus seedlings, but I just wanted to experiment with this. I've been waiting for the seeds and everything. And now is a great time to start sowing out. Over winter, we can grow everything under the lamp, indoors. And when it gets warmer, maybe in May, I can bring them out. So this is watermelon. Actual watermelon also. Just trying to test the viability of the seeds, that kind of stuff. We might fail with a lot of them, but the ones that come up will be really interesting. Like some of the seeds pretty old that I'm trying out. Some seeds can stay viable for years and others not. So we'll see what's happening here. Okay. So watermelon. And this here's the kiwi seeds that I cold treated in the freezer. So let's move these aside. And I gave them a cold treatment on a wet paper towel. So I have to get the seeds out of that thing again. Okay. So, and the last two, I want to sow out the kiwi seeds. I really want to get a bunch of kiwi plants because they are cold hardy, frost resistant fruit, interesting, healthy plant. And I always wanted to have some. We used to rent a place where we had some sort of a restaurant, like my family, and they had that huge kind of kiwi plant there. Interesting strain with very small fruit, but very cold hardy, and I really loved that. I was really surprised because you wouldn't think that a kiwi is so frost hardy. Okay. So these are the last two of the pressed sowing out stuff. I actually have a lot more, and we will use them later on. I will just put them aside here until we need them again. Tomorrow maybe. Okay. The way the kiwi seeds look, they appear to need light also. At least that's how I believe they will function. They will come up. I will put a few different seeds in it. They are tiny, and I don't think that all of them will come up. If one of them comes up, I'm happy. Okay, and that's the kiwi. We'll put the seeds back into the freezer. These in the paper towel. And the others will stay at some, maybe 25. I will look into the temperature range that we need again later. Feels great to actually grow plants, grow vegetables. I never really grew a lot of vegetables myself, so it's great to do it. I like that theme for our channel. Just growing stuff. Okay, that was fun. I now have 3 bags, like with the little pressed medium, and I will move these under the lamp and let them be. We'll see if some of them come up, and I will post an update every time I see something. Okay, let me clean up, and then I brought a bunch of books that I wanna sign and number. Just wanted to say again, thank you for book orders, that kind of stuff. I got a bunch over Christmas, and it's the type of stuff that allows me to continue doing the work that I do. So I appreciate it. Do I have a pen? I think, yes. Okay. So I just wanted to sign them, put the number in. I foolishly I started hand stamping all the books, and it's a lot of work. I don't think I will do that. If I do another book, I will not do it like that. Okay. So this is 624. Okay, and a stamp. And every time I do it, I have green hands. I have learned to hate how to like stamping. Okay. And another one. $625. So yeah, thanks again for the support, guys. I don't talk a lot about business stuff, but I appreciate the support. It brought me here. Okay, and this is 625. Okay. Oh, I forgot to stamp. See, I don't. That's why I don't like the stamping. And you can't just close the book because you need to leave it open to get for the stamp to dry. So it's not that you can just close it up again. You need to put it aside, protect it a little bit, let the ink dry, and then at some point you can pack it up, and that's just a lot of extra work. So with the first book that I did, I always go through and make sure that there's no printing error. I don't want to ship out any book with problems, so I usually check them by hand, checking every book just to make sure that there's no printing error. It's better to just prevent like that you don't ship it out. The moment you ship it out with an error, it's just a problem. Because I'm the type of guy, I will instantly send a replacement, and then, why not do it right the first time, So yeah, so this is 936. This is the first one. We had a bunch of the first one that had problems. Maybe 5%, 2.5 to 5%. And since then, I check every book. And we did that with the crowdfunding. We did the first book as a crowdfunding campaign. And at that time, you are not in a position where you can do the quality control yourself. You have to trust the printer that you picked, that everything will be all right. I remember in the beginning they wanted to do a version where there was a little, like a part of a missing letter on the cover, you know, that kind of stuff. They had to correct that, and I'm glad that they did, because when you're doing crowdfunding, you can't really, you don't have a lot of negotiating power. You're just, you know, you spend the money that it costs to print the books, and then you just have to hope that everything's all right. So with the first book, we had a higher rate of problems than with the second. By that time, I think they also changed the printer, and yeah. So every book that I'm shipping out, I check thoroughly, and yeah, it's the only way to do it, in my opinion. Okay, yeah, and I wanted to show you the shirt, by the way. This is from the second book that we did. We did a bunch of t-shirts just to support the campaign when we did it back then, and yeah, this is one of them. I can actually wear it again. This was a shirt I didn't even fit in that anymore. Like, I was twice as big as I am now. Maybe. At least that's how it felt like. Lost a lot of bad weight. And I'm just happy that I can wear this kind of shirt again. Okay. Going through the containers. Hey, welcome to the stream. Great to have you around. I hope things are starting off well in the new year. So, yeah, want to do the seedlings. I had so much stuff on the channel, so it's not bad to have a little cactus here and there. Also, throw in a little cacti. Seedlings look great. I like it. One or two with a reddish discoloration, but it's not like they are looking bad. Healthy spines and all. No fungus gnat. Overall, they have kind of reduced their grip that they had. I think we got rid of a lot of them. So, going through cactus seedlings again. Maybe from a couple of months ago at the most. Most a little bit even younger. So 1 to 2 months. And they're looking great. Way too many seedlings to grow. These will cause us a lot of pain, long-term repotting pain. But for now, everything all right. And the soil is very dry. It's just safer. Keeping the soil drier. Fungus gnats just don't have it so easy to multiply. But you have them in a closed bag so they can still take in humidity. The seedlings, they don't need a lot, and very often you can keep them in a dry soil in a closed bag if there's still enough humidity inside. Okay, these here, too wet, a little bit too wet. I don't like how the soil looks like. It's just a little bit too comfortable for fungus gnats. Not seeing any, but 1 or 2 of the seedlings don't look so good. They're either variegated and didn't manage to produce chlorophyll, or this is just, something's not right. Something's not perfect. But I'm closing it up. I'm not seeing fungus gnats. Can't really transplant them now because they are too small. I could, but we would have a high rate of losses, as is often shown when I'm opening up the ones where we transplanted. These are looking good, and this is one that was transplanted into washed pumice. Hard to see the seedlings like that, but they're there, and they're not looking bad. So in this container, taking them out of the organic soil into washed pumice, in my opinion, helped them. With these, we did it just in time. There were some others where we were just too late. But in this case, looking good. I'm sure that long term we will lose a bunch of seedlings here and there from those, but it's better than what we had with the fungus gnats. The fungus gnats had completely taken them apart. There were 1 or 2 containers where they were everywhere. Okay, these are looking great. Spiny, looking good, nice and healthy, but also a lot of seedlings. I don't know what I was thinking. That's a general problem. It's not just this once. Sometimes I'm you're seeing stuff that you did maybe half a year ago, and you're starting to question it. That's how it happens here. Every time I see so many seedlings, I realize that we will have to transplant them all, grow them all. Okay, so in this one, so many seedlings are concentrated in the corner. That's not great. There's just not enough light getting to them there. And there's a little bit of moss. I don't like that. Taking it off a little just to delay it. To give the seedlings a little advantage. In many cases, moss isn't a problem. They can grow kind of peacefully with each other, cactus seedlings and moss. But sometimes it really depends on the species. There are some very aggressive growing species that very fast surround the seedlings. And then it takes away the light, it takes away the drainage, because it keeps the water at the roots. Okay, yeah, these are looking great. Also, whole container full of seedlings. But on the other hand, it's a whole container full of really good uvocala seeds or hybrids by myself. You know, it's always, when you look into something like this, it's a good cross. You could really grow like half of them, and you would still have a bunch of very good flowers here and there. Nothing that we're growing here is just bad. Everything has potential. That's the problem. That makes it so hard to choose. I can't tell you what, like, on what standard with this kind of stuff, how you sort out. It's getting very difficult at some point. Nice and healthy looking cactus seedlings. Apart from that, no fungus gnat, which is always great. We've had some pretty bad containers in the last couple of months. So I'm really appreciating when they are not there. And apart from that, these look really good. Healthy looking seedlings. I have them under a plant lamp just so they get sun, so I can already harden them up indoors. Right now, over the winter time, there's not a lot of stuff happening outside in my greenhouses. Cacti outside, like I have them in the greenhouses, and they're a little bit hibernating, maybe. The lower temperatures have really scaled everything back. There's not a lot of thing happening. So indoors here, the plant lamp really helps to grow the seedlings, to get them to a point where I can already bring them out next year, this year, maybe in May. And the seedlings are already big enough to make that, to survive that. Because once you bring something out, either in the greenhouse or outdoors, you will instantly have a lot of problems that you didn't have. You will probably lose a bunch of seedlings here and there. And the bigger they are, the less likely that is, the more you reduce these kind of problems. So yeah, and welcome to the stream, guys. Always happy to take questions if you want to know something. If not, I'm just going through the seedlings. These are all cactus seedlings we've sown out. And they are looking great. They're developing nicely. It takes maybe 5 to 7 years until we see the flowers, and we're on a good way. You have to be patient as a cactus breeder, but we're on a good way. I'm looking forward to that. It will be great that when we one day can show a flowering plant on the channel that we grew here in the live stream, or maybe in the videos that I posted. And I really like that idea. So yeah, I have maybe 10 more containers, 10, 12 containers of cactus seedlings. And I also brought a bunch of seeds to clean. We already sown out tomatoes, kiwis, and watermelons. And yeah, next episode I will find the other seeds that were missing, that I wanted to use today. And in the next episodes we're doing chili, actual chili seeds. I don't even like that kind of spicy food, but they are just cool plants, like a plant that has the ability to be so spicy. That's impressive. That's almost like a cactus with the spines and all. It's not an easy kind of plant. It knows how to defend itself, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, yeah, these are good. Maybe I potted a little bit too deep, taking away the light when you don't fill the whole pot with soil. But in this case, it's okay. I'm not so. Right now they are under the plant lamp and they get a lot of light. That might change later on. In real life conditions, you sometimes just have plants that are at a bad spot compared to the others. Right now, there's a lot of light, more than we need actually. Okay, so here, very dry soil. And that is a good thing in my opinion. The seedlings don't look like they need a lot of water. All the seedlings in the drier containers look better. Also because of fungus gnat problems that we didn't have in those. So this is great, just closing it up again. Healthy cactus seedlings, maybe 2 months old, roughly. This is how they start up. And in the beginning, they need a lot of humidity. That's why I have them in the closed bags. And later on, you can slowly start to adjust them, harden them up with real life conditions. But young cactus seedlings just need a little bit more humidity than they need later on when they are big. One of my biggest problems, my biggest losses I always had because I didn't water enough. Because I felt like the cactus seedlings, cacti, you think of them as these drought-loving plants, but very early on in the first maybe 6 months, humidity is so important. And in nature, only you would need maybe 10,000 seedlings to get one large plant. Very often, it's actually numbers like that. In that kind of, I'm sure the actual numbers differ from plant to plant and depending on how hard the environment is. But you need a lot of seedlings in nature to get one large plant. So yeah, these are looking good. This is Lobevia. Lobevia hybrid born to be wild. Lobevia ferox is involved. Massive spines, ferocious spines, and a very beautiful cactus. And the flowers are amazing. So really looking forward. I will grow everything with that hybrid that I have with that as a mother. When the fruit grew on that plant, then I like it. Okay, and these are getting bigger also. We're starting to come to a point when they might actually outgrow the bags. And then I would just take them out. At that point, when they grow so fast, then they can probably take the lower air humidity, the lower humidity. They can take it then. Apart from that, too many seedlings. Who is supposed to repot all of them? That's a problem for the future. We will not consider this right now. We will just bag it up again and not think about it anymore. That's a problem for somebody else in the future. Okay, let me see. These are rather young, maybe 4 weeks. So one of the later batches that we've sown out, and most look okay. Different shape. You can see that the seedling shape is a little bit different. This is Lobevia. Lobevia has a nice and unique look to it. So I will transplant that one seedling. One seedling had kind of fallen over, and I try to get that one back into the soil. I just hope it's not fungus gnats, because very often when they fall over, when a cactus seedling falls over, actually something has attacked the roots, something has eaten the roots, and that could happen. But very often you just knock them over accidentally by handling the pot. And I just hope it was something like that. If it's something that's attacking the roots, then it will come back. Then we will see it again. If not, this will solve the problem. This is also interesting. A lot of very small seedlings from Teleflora. Teleflora, a hybrid between Sorensia telegona, and Echinopsis irisi grandiflora. Intergeneric hybrid with, cool body. Very often in these crosses, the telegonus kind of ribs come through. So it makes a very impressive plant, and the flowers are big. Telegonus in nature has these immense 20 centimeter sized flowers, like white, but with beautiful colored pinkish sepals on the outside. It's a very beautiful flower, and that's why it has potential for breeding. You can either get something interesting in regards to the body or the flower. Both can work great. So I'm trying to cross with Teleflora. This year we had 7 fruit on that plant, on the large plant that I've shown on the channel. Also had it in a time-lapse video, and it looked great. So a lot of potential for these. They look tiny though, like very small seedlings, and that gives me a little warning. That's a warning, like a red flag. When the seedlings look tiny, this could be a genetic defect that they just don't grow at all. We'll see. For now, they look a little delayed. I just hope we can get them to adulthood, because it would be great to any kind of offspring from that plant is interesting. These are looking good. Nothing fancy here, nothing unusual going on. They are maybe 4 weeks old. And first set of spines, a bunch of them are delayed, but that could just be that they came up later a little bit. You know, you sometimes have the strongest seedlings come up first, and then you have a few more that come up over weeks. That can just be, that could be what caused the delay. Okay, in this one, I'm not sure. I'm torn. Seedlings look okay, looking healthy, but I don't like this looks like there could have been 1 or 2 where fungus gnat took a bite. You can see that sometimes when you have a seedling that just doesn't look healthy. I see 1 or 2, not many, but it's important to keep an eye on it, because if you have a a seedling that you lose in there and it's right in the center of the other seedlings, it can sometimes infect everything. It can be that patient zero that turns this whole thing into a nightmare. So always opening them up. What we're doing right now, I'm doing that to, if there's a problem, we will catch it early on. You don't need to do that. You don't need to open all the bags all the time like I'm doing it. But we're doing it, it's educational. And also it allows me to react very fast to a problem, because it's so much easier to solve a problem early on. Later, the longer you do it, like the longer you ignore a problem, it can cost you the whole container. And if you had removed a little local infection maybe at some point, you would have them. You would still have them. These are looking good. Bunch of discolorations from the just stress from the lamp. But not all stress is something that we should avoid. Life is stressful, you know. Being exposed to the elements is stressful. And for the cactus seedlings, it also means that they react to the environment that they are growing. I like to see a healthy discoloration here and there. But there's a limit. At some point, when you see that the seedlings are getting smaller and smaller and redder, that is not a healthy discoloration. That is them actively saying goodbye. Okay. These are looking great, actually. Growing healthily everywhere. And with moss in the center, which I don't like. I really hate it. But right now, the seedlings look too good. I don't need to do something. You know, when you have a container where you see a problem here and there, but everything is growing healthily, then, you know, I would just leave it alone. The concern with the moss in center is that it just keeps the roots wet for too long. It just keeps humidity at the root level of the seedlings, where they are most vulnerable, where you can lose them the most, like the easiest. But right now, as long as there's no problem under the moss, it can go well. It kind of seals the humidity. But the moment you have a problem, like with a fungus gnat taking a bite out of a seedling here and there, or a mealybug, then the moss will become an even bigger problem. It just keeps the humidity sealed, and one wound in the humidity, it usually is infected very fast. Okay, next one. Also, these are looking good. No moss, no nothing. Everything great here. I like that. The kind of plants that we're growing, I get that a lot. And these are different. Some Lobevia, some hybrids by Uwe Kahle, multi-hybrids already, like with 3-4 different hybrid parents involved. Mostly about getting amazing flowers. That is the goal. But also, there are also a bunch of crosses where I feel like we could get an interesting kind of cactus body to go into new directions. Right now, everything looks like Cantora. And maybe we can change that by just bringing in a bunch of new species, or maybe even new genera. You know, we're doing crosses with Hageocereus, stuff like Loxanthocereus, interesting species, interesting genera and species, you know. Okay, this could be the last one, I think, and they're looking good. Today we had no fungus gnats. Now I couldn't even say my saying. Maybe next time. I'm really happy that we got the problem with the fungus gnats under control a little. It was really, really bad for a while. Okay, yeah, these were the seedlings, all looking great. And I will move these back under the plant lamp now. Just give them a few more days where they can grow undisturbed by me. Me opening them up is not perfect. You know, ideally you would leave the plant under the lamp, but this allows me to just show, and they are pretty hardy. They can take it. So okay, I brought a bunch of cactus seeds that I wanna clean here. And this is the seed harvest from 2025. So the current season, the last season that we had. And this is just seeds on paper towel. Okay. So in the cross here, the one that where I'm just cleaning the seeds off, this one is Amun-Re, seeds of Amun-Re. And this is the only fruit that I had this year on that plant. It's a very amazing hybrid, huge flowers, incredible flowers. I had a second fruit, and that fruit developed and was eaten by a mouse, I think. That's why I don't like the winter fruit. You just have to leave them on during winter, and during winter there's a high chance something will happen. So you lose the winter fruit, and you also had a plant that spent a large part of winter growing something. I don't think that's good. I think they need a little rest over winter, that they can continue to, that they can flower again next year, you know, like start fresh, new year. Okay, and the seeds, not many, maybe a couple hundred. In the past, I did a lot of crosses with Amun-Re. It's a very beautiful hybrid, and we'll see if we can propagate it in a way that makes it available again. I see a lot of like crazy prices with Amun-Re, and maybe we can do something about that. Okay. I really wish we had we would have had that second fruit. That was one of the crosses that I really liked that year. Hey, welcome to the stream. Great to have you around. Just cleaning seeds here. Cactus seeds. But these probably need another second cleaning. These were just too, there was just too much pulp with these. This would take forever. I think we're just putting them into the, under the water again, under running water in a sieve. Let me see. I just need a paper bag for the seeds. It's like an amusement park here. I have containers full of water where I need to jump over to get into the chair again. This is not good. I did too many different things in this video. Okay, yeah, these paper bags, we put them in there, and then I let this whole thing run through running water again in a sieve to just clean the seeds, to get rid of the pulp left, that was left, the remaining pulp that was on there. Because these are good seeds and they need to be cleaned. And we will probably clean them again later, like in one of the next streams. I tried to do these today, to clean them today. I want to start sowing them out also. Okay, next one. This is an interesting hybrid between a columnar plant and pink stripes, I think. Pink stripes, really interesting kind of plant. And has a great color. I already made that cross a few years ago. And this year it worked again. So I'm very happy about that. I'm not sure if the color from pink stripes will go in it, but it could. Hey, that's great. That's great. I actually, like we've been discussing autism on the channel before. I've had a long history of, like, when I was a child, had problems when I was a child. Went through my life also being, when they try to diagnose me, like if it's ADHD or autism, and at some point in my life that ended, that kind of my parents were just saying, okay, maybe it's just weird. So it is often like, I consider it a lot when I look at my old school papers, that kind of stuff. I had so many problems when I was young, and looking back, it kind of makes sense. So yeah, growing stuff is great. Because you do a lot, you actually learn patterns that work. You kind of learn the different conditions where you can grow stuff. It's like you can really just turn it into data, is what I mean. It's an interesting hobby. It allows you to have that connection to plants, to just see that you are growing something in front of your eyes. I find that really great about that. Yeah, and it's just I think people will go back to these kind of basic concepts, like growing stuff yourself, with so much, like the current time with the internet and social media. I think people will go back to the classic values again, trying to live more offline, and it's a great thing. Yeah, it allows you to see the world from a different point of view, I'm sure. Of course, there's like a lot of, it's a spectrum. There are a lot of people who probably have immense problems, but I've also seen a lot of people being very successful, because like I said, you have certain abilities, certain character traits that can also be beneficial when you approach something. Like, I don't know, like I said, it's unclear with my history and all that, and I'm actually too old to really look into it, like to really try to get a definite diagnosis, because I kind of found I could always compensate for the problems that I have. But I'm a very weird kind of guy, like socially unable. I'm just socially unable. I'm just too kind of, I have problems, like, I don't know, finding my way into the world, being around other people, that kind of stuff. I'm a very drawn back kind of person. So, and every now and then I wish it would be different. But then I realized that it's also why I'm who I am today. It brought me on that everything I did in life, I did in an abnormal way, like excessively. Like when I'm interested in a subject, there's no interest. It's just, it consumes me. It really, and that kind of thing allows you to get good at it, get good at certain things where you never thought that you would be good at it. And yeah, I think that's a good kind of trait to have, that kind of obsession that just naturally turns into you becoming good at what you do. Like that, I don't know, it really is a theme throughout my life, that everything that I did excessively. There was never a thing that I could just casually do. That wasn't the thing. It was either I was not doing anything, or I was completely just jumping my face into something, being specialized, highly specialized, like with the cacti, So in my opinion, that's a great way to just to deal with that, and it's a positive hobby. It's a really positive hobby. Yeah, that's great. It's great to hear. It's great to hear. So yeah, I really found and it's not only that you are growing plants, that you're growing something, but it is that kind of a way of life. You meet so many like-minded people through this kind of hobby, no matter what you are growing. In this case, we're growing cacti, or when we're growing vegetables like earlier, you just usually meet a great community that is behind that. And I also have that, you also have that one totally crazy guy that you meet every now and then, where you feel like, oh my God, but apart from that, it's a very positive community where people just trade seeds with each other, just or trading plants, that kind of thing, And I like that part of the whole hobby. I think that is what also interests me, that kind of community sense, that I'm not able to do it. Like, I'm not that kind of I don't know, the kind of person that has so many very close friends where you constantly meet your friends and that kind of stuff. But I have a lot of contact with people all over the world, just talking about the hobby, just giving tips, trying to help, that kind of stuff, and it gives you a lot back. So yeah, it's a great hobby. And I never really grew a lot of vegetables myself, so I still have a lot to discover here, to learn. I'm very good at growing cacti, but me now trying to grow a bunch of different stuff, it's also me going out of my comfort zone, trying to see how it goes, and just to do it. It's also just about doing something, seeing it grow. And it's really fun when you make the crosses, like the stuff that we do on the channel. It's really fun to do the cross, and when you do that, you have a kind of an idea that you want to achieve. You want a certain body with a certain kind of flower, and that kind of thought process and all. And then when you finally see what's growing from that cross, it's a very rewarding thing to finally, to see if whatever you had in mind actually happened or not. Every cross is different with these. And I feel like a lot of that also applies with other vegetables, with other plants. It's basically the same. It's just a different kind of plant. Oh, that's great. I love that. I love Australia. I have a lot of Australian friends. So that's great. I wish I had that kind of climate. I really wish. But over here where I live, it's gotten a lot warmer. I remember the temperature in the last years has really changed. Like, we had very cold winters in the past, and we don't have them anymore either. But yeah, overall, a lot of friends in Australia, and most of the stuff when I go online, most of the posts that I see is from Australians, just because that's still the community that I'm in. It's a great cactus scene there. I'm sure in the next 10 years, a lot of good hybrids will come from Australia. And this morning, I just saw that Cactus Country, their page, like the Facebook page, they've gone viral with a bunch of posts, and I was very happy about that. Very happy to see, because they've been posting heavily in the last year, maybe. Cactus Country. It's a beautiful place and also good people that are behind it. And I always follow their page. Just hope that it finally will blow up for them, you know? That one thing where nothing will stay the same again afterwards. I feel like they should maybe do a TV show with them. I really feel that would be a great idea. If I were a network, something like that, I would film something like that. I would fund it. And I really think it will happen eventually. That kind of a long-term, positive, good work just pays off eventually. At some point, the right thing happens. You are lucky. And luck is basically, in that case, it's just you working hard every day. And at some point, you are lucky that some of the hard work that you did in the past will just blow up and suddenly go viral. Not sure which post it was, but it was shared by thousands, I think. Okay. Yeah, I've been cleaning these seeds here because this is a good cross. I want to grow them. And yeah, but they're still not clean enough to sow them out. So I need to get rid of a bunch of the organic stuff that's still in here with the seeds. This has a potential to be a very good cross. The flower wasn't so big, but Pink Stripes. I mean, if Pink Stripes is really able to influence the flower color, that would be great. Yeah, I actually have a bunch of Australian trees that I'm growing. I have a bunch of Australian eucalyptus trees, and I have a bunch of acacia trees also. I like these kind of trees. I don't want to plant them out, but there are some of them that might even take the cold winter, you know, that might be able to take a little bit of frost. Some of the eucalyptus trees definitely can take a bit of frost. And it would be great to have it in my greenhouse, or maybe in a bigger greenhouse, maybe. But not planting them out. I don't want to have that kind of a fire risk here in the area. But it's just I like eucalyptus just because it's a cool tree, cool plant. In the past, like in the last 20 years, there were a bunch of people were experimenting with growing eucalyptus here, and some of the species are more hardy than others. That's what I read. But a bunch of them can really take the frost. Okay. Almost clean. Yeah, and tonight I was up the half of the night because Mika was awake. Mika is our dog, and with the fireworks, everything was so loud tonight that she spent half the night under the bed. So I was awake trying to get her to be all right, you know, to be calm. And it was a long night tonight. I'm just glad it's over now. Glad that the fireworks is out of the way. Yesterday, when I took Mika out with me, when I took a walk, I had to really make sure she doesn't run away and all that. And it was a lot of stress for her yesterday. So I'm glad it's over now. Looking forward to a new year. This year could be huge for the channel. So I'm really looking forward to it. I will push for this year. I will really push. I was already pushing hard last year, just trying to push the channel on social media. And this year we're really trying. Like when I'm streaming from outdoors with the flowers, that will be great. I'm already looking forward to that. Will be a cool year. Now that the streaming feature has come to, like, that I know how to use it. I already had the streaming feature before, but I just never used it. So now this year, like in winter, the last couple months were really good with the stream. I really like the stream. And in summer, we would stream from outside. So that will be big for the channel. I want to have a lot of time lapse again on the channel this year. So this will be great. Looking forward to that. New year. Okay, yeah, this is enough. Overall, like the seed count is maybe 250 seeds. 250. And again, this could have potential. This could be awesome. Like with pink stripes on a columnar plant. The only thing that I'm worried about is the flower size, because the mother plant where the fruit grew on, that plant didn't have a huge flower. The flower was just okay, maybe 13, 14 centimeters. But that plant always matches with pink stripes. I don't know why. They just get along nicely. So I would still sow it out. Maybe donate a bunch of the seeds at some point. We'll see. Okay. Okay, this one's clean now. There's a lot of seeds that we have here right now. That will be quite a challenge in the future. Okay, next one. Let me see what I have here. Okay, here's something with not so many seeds, not so dirty. That's good. We're doing that. And these are from Sörensia telegonoides hybrid Ulf Meerbold. Ulf Meerbold is a hybrid that I've shown first this year. And I've had it for many years before. Got a plant from Ingo Bartels, but it never flowered until this year, until 2025. And now, yeah, there were 5 or 6 fruits. So really nice work. Happy about that. It was one of the most interesting plants of the year. Oh yeah, I mean, I have no personal experience how the trees are, like the eucalyptus trees are, and like how the animals nearby take it, that kind of stuff, you know. But I just like the idea of growing an eucalyptus tree. Unfortunately, I could never really see them up close because they are not really common here. I'm sure some people have planted them, but so far I didn't come across one yet. So I'm just looking forward to that. I'm not sure how they will be like as a tree. I try to grow them in a big pot in a greenhouse and just try to prune them back when they reach the roof. We'll see. If that doesn't work, maybe I need to get something bigger. But it will be interesting. I want to try it out. Also with the frost, how they can handle the frost. And with the Australian acacia trees, I'm also not 100% certain if they don't maybe can take the frost, you know. Maybe, who knows? I have a tree here that's very similar to acacia trees, and it's a Robinia. Robinia pseudo-acacia is the tree that is common here. So I really have hope that maybe some of the Australian acacias can take the frost too. And they're cool trees. I like them. Really, really cool trees. But I wouldn't want them going crazy also. I wouldn't want them growing wild. I wouldn't plant them out. That it's just something that you need to grow in a controlled environment. If it's anything like that Robinia tree that I have everywhere around the house, then they would also be pretty invasive, and I don't want to risk it, you know. But it's the first time that I'm actually looking at trees, growing trees, maybe pine here and there, you know, that kind of stuff. A few chestnuts and a how's it called? Like that American tree, that fruit tree. A pawpaw. I want to grow a pawpaw. Trying to get pawpaw seeds in the next couple of months. A little bit opening my horizon. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so these are pretty clean already. The fruit was relatively small. So I hope that the ink from my stamp has dried by now. Yesterday I've been cleaning seeds here, and I'm not sure which ones they were. I think it was 18A2000, if I remember correctly. Hybrid by Andreas Wessner, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'm just having a look here to see if the seeds that which ones the seeds are that I cleaned yesterday. But I think it was 18A2000. Probably. I have a lot of seeds here. Yeah. Must be 18A2000 because everything else is here. Okay, I will put that on. Okay. So we're getting close to the point when we can actually sow out the seeds from the current season. That would be great. I need to clean up this table. It's such a mess. It's just hard to do many different things at once and do it in an organized way. In some ways, I'm very organized. In some ways, I am not. Okay. So these are from Ulf Merbold. Sörensia telegonoides hybrid. Yeah, -7. That's okay, but it would still be a little bit warmer than what we have. I think the lowest temperature that we're currently getting, maybe minus 12 Celsius, maybe minus 15. Yeah, I think something like that. And I actually bought a book about someone who has been experimenting with these kind of trees, trying to experiment with the local frost, like the local climate here. And I want to look that up again because the book already had a bunch of species that he recommended that were more cold hardy than others. We'll see. Okay. Sörensia arboricola. No, not arboricola. Telegonoides hybrid Ulf Merbold. Really beautiful plant this year. Blew me away. Okay. I have two echinocerois, 2 or 3 echinocerois outside, and they take it. It really depends. They need to be dry. They need to be completely dry under the roof. Then the echinocerois can take it. Trichocerois, echinopsis, none of them can. The most cold hardy cactus that I have, or that I had, I think it was Opuntia faecanta, very cold hardy, minus 25 Celsius. And some of the echinoceroi species, the American ones, they are very cold hardy. They go down to also minus 20 even, I think. And yeah, they take it. The echinocerois take it outside. Apart from that, the plants in the greenhouse are at 1 degree Celsius. That's how I set up the heater. Every time the temperature goes below freezing, that heater kicks in. And that really helps. I just barely keep the temperature above freezing. And for the plants that I usually grow, it is all right. Some cacti couldn't take that, like Perisciopsis, or some of the Pilosocerois, like the Brazilian kind of cacti. They couldn't take the temperature that I have in the greenhouse. With them, you would have to maybe have 15 Celsius, 20 maybe, in winter to kind of have it safe. But with Pilosocerois, maybe you can push it down a little. But there are many cacti that wouldn't take the winter temperatures in my greenhouse. That's why over the years, I moved towards these kinds of plants because they are also, they take a lot of frost. If you have them in a dry soil, they can't be in wet soil. But if you have them dry, then they can take a fair amount of frost here and there. Every now and then it's very cold, like in spring when you already bring plants out here. And we get some very cold nights around that time. Maybe in April, March, April, around that time. Some of the cactus breeders already bring them out. They have them under a roof, protected from the rain, but they can already get quite a bunch of cold temperatures. I wish that the climate here would be different, but unfortunately, it's just what I have, you know. And again, the climate has changed. It was much colder. When I was a teenager, or maybe a young kid, I still remember cold winters that went down to minus 25. I remember a time when there were weeks that were at minus 25, or at least a couple of weeks where the temperature was really, really staying like that for a while. And I haven't seen that anymore. Not in that form. We get a lot of rain now. and rarely snow. Most of the time we get just snow rain, you know, that like that wet kind of snow feeling. Yeah, 4 Celsius. I would actually, it's probably even safer, you know, like the temperature that I have. It's not perfect for some of the lobevia, some of the more the more sensitive kind of plants. So 4 degrees Celsius is actually perfect. But yeah, it makes a difference also in regards to the heating costs. So I run it at the point where it just works, and it's still affordable. But that's a great temperature too. So I'm cleaning up a little bit here. And next time, I want to have a clean desk again. And in the next stream tomorrow, I will bring more stuff. I will bring more seeds that we can sow out. And yeah, get them into the pressed things that are brought here. Sowing out more things that I can show it on the stream, that we can discuss it. We'll see how that goes. Maybe the seeds are too old already. That could happen. Very likely, actually. But I want to try it out. Okay. Yeah, I think I will soon go offline. Was an interesting stream today. I really like to, you know, when I go into the stream, I never know what happens. You never know what kind of a question comes in. And right now, I just enjoy that whatever we do, we can do something interesting, you know. Move if something isn't really fun, we do something else. And I'm looking forward actually growing more plants also, opening the horizon a little bit. And we always have the cacti in spring when we're going back outside. There's a lot of good cactus stuff to show too. So yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And I appreciated the questions that came in. So thank you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Had a lot of fun. And Happy New Year to all of you. Hope you have a great time wherever you are. Thank you.